on a Saturday night. It's single on a Saturday night. It's single on a Saturday night. I was about to put you on the spot and say we about to come up with something new. We got something new coming out our game, though. No, are we doing it? Did you say yet? So no.
No, don't give it to us.
Let's not forget our skits that are coming up.
Oh, yes, we have skits. And next month is actually our 8-year anniversary. So, hey,
Yeah.
after 8 years. 8 years. So that means 8 years I've been single on a Saturday night. 8 years.
Stop fibbing.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that right now.
I just said it.
She's not going to do that right now.
She's been government single.
She's been government single for
government
the box
single.
tax
Government
purposes.
With that said, I'm going to pass it to I'm Shirley with. I'm going to pass it down to my. Let's go right. I think a little heaven needs to be.
Always need a little heaven.
Come on, little heaven. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
My name is Heaven. What
I
else
am
was I Huh?
Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, I'm a performing artist. I rap. And that is all.
Okay, aren't you in a relationship?
Oh, I'm single, but I do have a fiance, which is Tiffany.
All right.
Is that right there? There you go. That's it. All right, we can pass it down now.
That's how I guess it's my turn. What's going on, family? It's your big homie TC Caldwell, BKA Stormy Weather, single, father, actor, mentor, producer, entrepreneur, basically all around Renaissance man. Because if I can't do it, baby, it probably can't be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Kendra Hall. I'm an author, speaker, and also a survivor, a mother of 4. I have a 25-year-old, 22-year-old, 21-year-old, and an 11-year-old. So, and this is my book, Droppin Jewelz.
You just said you got a 25-year-old.
I know that's right. She look like she's 25 herself.
About 25 herself in this joint. Yeah.
I know you get that all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
I am Tiff, Tiff, period. Some of y'all might be before. I'm an artist for Family Printing, and I'm also multi-talented, kind of like my man down here. Renaissance woman, music, production, artwork, graphics, everything you need, and I'm Heaven's fiance.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for y'all.
My name is Will Spratley. I'm a father, a grandfather of 3, and I'm also a community active for domestic violence.
Yeah, I like that. But you even count with your fingers. He's this, he's that. Can I do that also?
Go ahead.
You better, bro.
I'm a
You better,
professor.
because you rocking.
I'm a professor. I'm a father. I'm a mentor. I'm a black man. I like chicken. I mean, okay, that's right.
My brother.
I like chicken too. I like chicken. Today we are here. We're gathered. We have a great author here who's going to tell us about her book and the domestic violence. And we don't talk about it enough. Some people say you talk about it too much, but domestic violence is real, and it comes in very different dimensions. Sometimes it comes in verbal abuse. Sometimes it really comes in with black eyes. Whatever it is, but it comes in different dimensions. So we want to start off by actually talking about what made you come forth with it in your book, which is Droppin Jewelz.
Yes. Droppin Jewelz, Guiding Principles to Help Girls Live Their Best Life. It's available on Amazon right now. And what made me come forward with, I've been mentoring young women for years, just because I was a teen mother at my first son at 14. I've been on my own since I was 13, and I had 3 kids by 18. And so me being out on my own really put me at a different perspective about life, and it's grown me up really fast at a young age. And so I experienced domestic violence as a teenager. I was in a domestic violence relationship starting at age 12. And I wound up being in a domestic violence shelter by age 16. So it's near and dear to my heart that I've been through so much, and I'm able to help other women or young people who have been through the same type of situations and help them to find ways to get out of these situations.
Give it up, give
it up for it. Droppin Jewelz. Domestic violence is crazy when you talk about it, when you think about it. But we also have someone who's from the other end, and I think that once we discuss all our stories, but we also have someone from the other end, someone who's actually been the person who has I would say being the perpetrator. And it's hard to say it because you look at the person, you're like, no, but that's Tiffany. She's so awesome. But to be the perpetrator. So tell us about that, Tiffany. We might have to
check. Hello. Yeah. So just in my experiences, I've come to learn how easy it can be as a domestic violence perpetrator, especially with being in, homosexual relationships, dealing with other women, and it's not just like a male on female thing. It can be a female on female thing, and at times it can be a female on male thing. But what I've also come to learn is that domestic violence is not just about, the physical aspect, but it's about the mental aspect and the emotional aspect that comes with it. So, me having to check myself over the years and seeing how, a lot of women that I've met have come from these very vulnerable positions where they're seeking, love just generally, and they, subject themselves to so many things where it's easy for a person to come in and just dominate and just take control. And, it's weird being on my end, but just seeing how it's a very thin line between, loving somebody and controlling somebody. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think just because it's not, oh, I'm beating you up or locking you in the closet somewhere, that it's okay, but it's really not okay. You know what I mean? And just being, just a strong person, you can overlap into just abusing somebody mentally because that they're not going to say nothing or they're not going to do nothing, and you might think, oh, well, I ain't punching them in their face, so it's okay, or you lucky to have me because I'm helping you and I'm supporting you, and when nobody else did, so it is. People have to be very mindful of how much power and influence they can have over people and not allowing that to, overlap into somebody who's vulnerable and just want to be cared for and loved for. You know what I mean? So I've learned a lot over the years. You know what I mean? Just, we, like I said, you may think you a strong person and that, my way is the way, but a lot of stuff.
Is that what you were doing? Is that what you're saying? My way?
Yeah.
Do what I say?
Pretty much if you don't like it, you could kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much, like, and knowing that they're not going to fight back. Like, they don't want no trouble. And I see, like, a lot of women become very submissive, you know what I mean, and very passive. So it's like, you can pretty much do whatever, you know what I mean? And you feel like as long as I ain't punch them in their face, as long as I ain't put my hands on them, it's okay. But, nah, it's not okay, because then you can abuse them financially, you know what I mean, where it's like you make them feel guilty. You make them feel like the victim that they're already projecting themselves to be just so you can get your way, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't think that that's domestic violence, but it really is. So, to create an awareness of people who do have that power, like you can be abusive to people who might not feel like they have power. You know what I mean? And pretty much like you need to check yourself on that because like I said, you could think that because I'm not beating them up, it's okay. You know what I mean? And because I'm helping them out, it's okay. So they should be happy to have me. But that mentality in itself is abuse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You could beat somebody up with your words. You could be crying every day when somebody that you love is telling you, oh, you're not good enough. You dirty, you stink, whatever it is. You could be sitting there going through it, and people don't know you really are being abused.
And what happens is when dysfunction becomes normal, then that's the way people function. When they function amidst the dysfunctional, in a dysfunctional setting. And what winds up happening is that it becomes normalized. So people stop seeing that it's wrong. It's that determining if this person loves me so much, why are they busting me in my head? And we've heard those things. Well, I love you. And I say this, sometimes the words and the actions have to match, and the actions more so than the words, because again, I can tell you I love you, but if I am physically abusive, mentally abusive, and not treating you like you're loved, then it doesn't match, and that's normalizing dysfunction.
What I worry about is when you're in those situations, and I need somebody to help me get a better understanding. That so many times people say, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. When are you really done? And when is it done and deadbolted for good? It's where I need more people to talk about the word done, because perpetrators do not, when you say you done and you keep returning and returning, they don't believe you.
And they know it's not done when they do.
So when are you done and it's official?
Well, for me, I first started being abused when I was 13 by my first love and my son's father. And to me, when I was done is because he stabbed me on the couch while I was holding my son. So for me, it was just like I had enough, and I literally had to move out the state to get away from him. You know what I mean? So it's hard because when you think a person love you, you know what I mean? And I never understood why, like how did I even attract that such of a guy, because my dad always been in my life, you know what I mean? And usually they say it's people with daddy issues, you know, you're attracting that type of person, but to me, that wasn't the case because, like, my dad was, like I said, my dad was always in my life. So I was just always wondering, like, why, like, how? And I never did that much where as though you feel as though you got to choke me to the ground, choke me out, you know what I mean? And then stab me at that, you know what I mean? So it's just like while I'm holding my son and over an argument. So it's just like, geez, like, what is going on? And then I just never understood it, you know what I mean? And it's crazy for me because I've been abused from 13 to 34. Tiff is the only relationship that I've been in whereas though I haven't been physically, you know, abused. And they were all men. Tiff is my first female relationship, you understand? And
so is that why you went to females, because you were being abused?
Actually, no, because I was actually dealing with females, but it was always like a summer fling type thing, you know what I mean? But, so far, no, I wouldn't say that that's the reason why I was actually single. That was the, you know, because after my last relationship, I was like, you know what, I'm just done altogether. You know what I mean? Because obviously it ain't working out. You know what I'm saying? So I just was like, I'm just done, I'm done. And then just so happened to have, I found Tiff. You know what I mean? And
well, congratulations that you were smart enough to get yourself up out of there.
Yeah,
because there are some folks that unfortunately
break,
done is when it's too late.
We're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about that when it's too late for some people. And Single on a Saturday night right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City. And we do this every fourth Saturday. Thank you to Rashina Stewart of the All New Beauty Spa. Oh, Lotus Beauty Spot, that's what I meant. Anyway, and thank you to itsokaytolaugh.com. March 21st is their upcoming comedy show. They do clean comedy shows, been doing them since 2009, and they have the Wakanda theme for March 21st. So we want to make sure you go out there, find out some more information, get some tickets. We got to be a crew. We got to go crew thick, get some clean comedy up in this. And our last time, I think they were hosted by Hamburger. That dude that's out there talking about that hamburger. Anybody remember from Def Comedy Jam? Yeah. He's from Def Comedy Jam, Mr. Comedian Hamburger. And of course, Desi, my girl Desi, she hosts the show. So March 21st is the Wakanda theme to the clean comedy show. It's okaytolaugh.com. Thank you for being a part of Single on a Saturday Night. Boom. Hey, we are here, Single on a Saturday night. Before we went to break, David asked a question about being done. And we were just going from a break talking about done, but sometimes it's not as easy when you're done. I haven't been physically, like, meaning somebody hit me, but I have been verbally abused in a relationship that constantly, the person constantly was like, either I'm going to sue you, kept threatening me, called me names, and it wasn't like I was done, but I didn't know how to get out. I didn't say the words, I'm done. I was just thinking that how can I strategically get out of this with my life? How can I strategically get out of this with all my belongings, which I did, and of course he stole my stuff. But I had to. It was like you're done internally, but it's not as easy to be done when you got so many other parameters, but a person talking about I'm this and you this. I'ma sue you. I'ma tell all your business.
Shelley,
and I think those are those things.
You know, you're triggering me right now.
I'm sorry, but
right.
But
know, I still ain't got my hands on board. So
listen, the way I see it is, I even talked to God. I say, you know what? He was being used by the enemy, and not only that, I forgive him because he was being used by the enemy. I'm good. I'm better than good. So.
All right.
Okay, when we talk about being done, a lot of times when you're in the heat of the argument and you're saying those things out of emotion. When a person is truly done with a situation, that means they put themselves first. That means they love themselves more than that house. They love themselves more than that car. They love themselves more than that mortgage payment. They love themselves more than laying next to someone in the bed. But as long as they have something over you that they value more than their self-respect, more than their who they are as a person, they are always going to come back because that mortgage payment is more important than how I feel today. So to answer your question is, when are you done? When you decide to put yourself first.
All right.
That's what I was gonna say.
So did you have to go through that same? You said since age 12, right? You were going through it.
For me, what I would say, what the change and turnaround for me was at 16. I was in a domestic violence shelter. I met a young woman there, and she changed my life. She became a great mentor to me, and she had been through so much. She had been raped by her uncle. She had a baby by her uncle. She had been abused in so many different ways, and she had learned so much about herself through this abuse. And she, in turn, I felt honored that she shared her knowledge with me, and she was able to help me deal with a lot of the issues that I was going through. So she became a really great mentor for me. She taught me a lot about my self-worth and the power of having the subconscious mind and how I speak to myself, and really gave me more awareness about who I was as a person and my value. And I think that was what was missing at the time, was I didn't value myself. And on top of that, the financial aspect of things, the finances were also important to be able to feed my child or my kids at the time. So all of these things came together to really say, hey, Kendra, what is it that you really want out of your life? Who are you? What do you deserve? And so I had to ask myself some really hard questions to figure out what it was, why was I dealing with so much negativity in my life? Why was I allowing someone to have so much power over me? And what were they giving me that I couldn't give myself? So I really had to do a lot of introspection. It was a lot of writing, and that's part of one of the reasons why I wrote this book, because I had to learn critical thinking skills. And I think that was what was really, really missing, because if you don't know how to critically think, you don't know how to get out these situations. You don't know where to start from. If you've never dealt with this situation, you don't know how to tackle it head on. And so that's, again, part of this book is I teach very concrete and easy to follow critical thinking skills, because that's what you need to navigate life and to deal with the relationships that you're going to come across.
What about the warning sign? Are there anything that are warning signs that people should be aware of early on?
Absolutely. I would say for me, it started off with, I was a people pleaser at a young age. So I think that's part of it. You have to know what it is that you're, what type of person you are. So because I wanted to please, I just did, if he said don't go such and such place, I didn't go there. So there's a lot of reasons why a lot of signs that you see, a lot of it is control. Don't go this place, don't wear this. And I would say also the small hits that may seem like they're playful, they become more aggressive over time. So be cautious of somebody who's always playfully hitting you in a relationship. That's something that is it's leading towards something else. So
I think another warning sign is the mental manipulation of always being made to feel guilty. You know what I mean? Like, that, I think that is the first step, like kind of like priming you to be abused and being taken advantage of. Is just like, the perpetrator tends to always blame, you know what I mean, and always justify the reasons why they're upset and try to manipulate it in a way where it's like, it's your fault, you know what I mean? And they might not say it's your fault, but it's like, oh, I'm mad because of this, or oh, if only that, and just like the smallest things will set them off, you know what I mean? So be mindful of their triggers, and if those triggers are always being blamed on you, you know what I mean, and the mood swings, like 1 minute it can be cool, then the next minute it's not, and then just their own personality and the way they're made up is, are they taking accountability for their own actions? Because if they not, that's one of the warning signs, because now who are they going to project that on? You, the kids, and everybody else. And, a lot of them are said to be narcissists. They think they can't do no wrong. So some of these, like, characteristics that you can see, it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it's not just about punching on you, you know what I mean? It's that mental thing, you know what I mean, that gets you to even stay in that position for so long, you know what I mean?
Will, I wanted to talk to Will. I know that you as a father, tell your story. You're the father of a daughter who was abused, and actually tell us the story, because did you see any of the triggers?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you did see
Oh,
it?
yes.
Okay, well tell us.
From the get-go, I never liked this individual. I told my daughter he wasn't allowed into my house. He was not allowed into my house. But as a father, and out of respect for my child, right, I wanted her to be happy. She came first in my life. So I led her to love. And the key word was love. My mother, I'm sorry, I'm emotional right now. So I want to show you something, right? It's going to bring a tear to my eye. This young lady right here, right, became the first domestic violence homicide in Philadelphia in 2010. My only daughter. This young lady right here, she was my daughter. She was a sister. She's a mother. And she was somebody. She was somebody. Right here. This young lady has so much compassion. She said, Dad, he has no one. He has no one that wanted him. She tried to be his partner, his lover, and his mother. She tried to be three entities in one. But one day she got fed up. She said, Dad, I'm tired. Tired. I said, babe, whenever you're tired, I'm here. She said, Dad, don't do anything. Just let me deal with him. I'm not scared of him. She said, Dad, I'm not scared of him. And so many of our sisters, strong black queens, say to these men, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. Lo and behold, my daughter had his son on December the 18th. His first son. She gave him a son. We went out on New Year's. We had a wonderful time. Me and my only child, we celebrated coming into that year. Sad to say, on January the 10th, my baby was gone. I'm holding my baby in her arms, my lifeless baby. I'm holding her for the last time. Someone said, call the police. They was able to call the police and they arrested him on the spot. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies, men, let somebody know what you're going through. Talk about it. Every day I hear about another sister losing her life on domestic violence. I just shake my head and it takes me back to January the 10th. Please, please.
So in the midst of all of these cases that came in, I decided to use my voice on a platform. And so I created the Garden of Eden Productions. We are a community fair, media and film production company. And so what we do is we do productions on social economic ills that plague our society, and elderly abuse happens to be one of the issues that I wanted to address because it's on the rise. People don't really talk about elderly abuse, but like I said, through my job, I know it exists, and a lot of times it's by the children. The parent becomes, now they have to be taken care of by the children. They abuse their finances. They steal money from them. They beat them. They deprive them of things connecting to outside relatives because they're doing these things. So it's basically the same thing, but it's the children doing it to the parents. And I just wanted to shed light on that because we don't talk about that as much.
It's funny, you talk about elderly abuse. I'm not going to give the plot to Tyler Perry's Falling from Grace. It dealt with the same thing. And I knew about your play, and I'm sitting there like, wow, this must be one of those things that are happening that was swept under the rug, but now it's coming out.
The Fall of Grace dealt with women who were getting mistreated by men. These were like middle-aged women that were getting abused, and it was perpetrated through a type of love act. Men swindle women all the time. They swindle women all the time. So it was that type of thing. And if you peeped it, they had some women and things that were being taken advantage of, locked up in the basement.
They were also elderly. They were elderly.
And they were,
anybody who had the.
And guess what? And that was a case that we had here in Philadelphia. That was taken. You don't remember that case where this woman had all these people locked in her basement, and all that. He got that from Philly, and that was nationwide. That was only a couple years ago. She was swindling, taking all of their money and locking these elderly people up in her basement right here in Philadelphia. So you know it's real out there. We have to be very careful of our elderly people. It's crazy. If you don't have children or somebody that's going to look after you, people know that. The people that prey on them know that you don't have anybody. And so this is how they do that. They're able to do that. How they're able to get you and lock you up and take your
because people from starting out there forgetting the elderly. We visited the elderly. One of my mom's friends. You know, people are sitting there when we go to the nursing home. There's people with no family coming to them. They're just sitting there. They're sitting, and I mean, it really breaks my heart. I'm like, if it was Thanksgiving, whatever the last Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. We went up there, and I'm like, these are people who have no family visiting. They're just there. So that's how it's happening because people forget them. But we're going to give your tickets to. She's giving out tickets, and we're going to give them to Will. We're going to give 2 pairs of tickets to Will.
So, you know, if you're free, come out. Sunday, February the 23rd, 3 o'clock show or the 6 o'clock show. Matters of the Heart, Garden of Eden production. 1515 Brandywine and the Performance Garage is where we'll be.
But definitely, you know, Will, I know it doesn't do anything, but I hope it just gives you a day out, you know, a day out to enjoy a film, I mean a play.
I just want to say thank you because the platforms like this is what we need. Real quick, one thing I found out was most devastating to me was that at my daughter's funeral service, right, I had 3 of her best friends come up and say, Mr. Willie, we didn't know how to tell you. My daughter may have been alive today if someone would have just said something. Then the neighbor said that we heard her going through it that same day. We thought they were just having an argument. So you threw it around like a football, but we never called the police.
People don't call.
They don't.
But listen, we're out here right now. We won't go. We don't have no more time. We are all out of time. And then we have a performance by Heaven and Tiff. So let's go. Single on a Saturday night. I know this was a difficult episode for you if you're watching, but the point is real. Tell somebody, help somebody, be there for somebody, and also seek therapy. Right, Nikki. Get involved. Thank you so much. Single on a Saturday night, TGI Fridays, 4,000 City Air.
Yeah. For all y'all ladies that been through something, whether it be family, lovers, children, whoever, we done all been through something.
I hope y'all resonate with this.
Listen.
Yeah. I am light. I am love. I'm from the stars above. I am love. I am pain. I'm winter, summer, rain. I'm the truth. It's insane. I'm what you can't contain. The love, the all. I'm heaven. Never been a type to bully or start a fight. If you come for me, bet to think twice. Get me in my bag, ain't gon' be nice. Stay to myself so I don't do life. Not with a crowd, sits by my side. But a snake stress, feel she couldn't hide. Cut that chick off, won't be my demise. Gonna get what's coming, don't be surprised. Waste my energy, ain't got the time. I gave enough for me, y'all can't say I'm lying. Y'all mistreated me, yeah, love was blind. Thought y'all needed me, to my face y'all was lying. Took a piece of me, broke it down, hurt my pride. Learned the hard way, the life I lived wasn't mine. Y'all control me, self-esteem I couldn't find. They cuffed my head up, my mind, it wasn't mine. They took my happiness, so a smile you wouldn't find. I was stuck and fed up in this life that's mine. Killed my spirit in the dark, I will hide. Until I met my babe, yeah, she showed me how to shine. I am light, I am love. I'm from the stars above. I am love, I am pain. I'm winter, summer's rain. I'm the truth, it's insane. I'm what you can't contain. The love, the all. I'm heaven. I am light. I am love. I'm from the stars above. I am love. I am pain. I'm winter, summer's rain. I'm the truth, it's insane. I'm what you can't contain.
the love, the all, I'm heaven. Just a little taste. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.